I make you an illustration. So if I harass you, that just means I love you. If you don't feel loved, if you don't feel harassed, it means I don't care about you. No, I'm kidding. So what are some things you learned? And then this next session is about 35 minutes. We want to put you through an actual goal setting process. I may pair you off so that you have an accountability partner before you leave here. So what are some things we learned in this session real quick? In this so far this morning? Yes, sir.
I like that point of don't aim too low. The aim high, if you don't get it, you achieve way more.
Aim high and miss. You'll hit a whole bunch of other things you didn't expect. So that's how I became an author. That's how I ended up in foreign countries.
Aim high.
So the reverse, the corollary to that is learn to fail big. And my classic example on that, which is a humorous anecdote, and some of you said you like my humor, which means you didn't care for my principles, but at least I make you laugh. Some of you didn't laugh for anything, and you're very serious. There's some new scientific evidence that has come out that if you have a tendency to laugh, and because you're so smarter than everybody else, you suppress that laughter, it'll come back inside and spread your hips. So let it out. All right? So let it out. Have a good belly laugh. August 16th, 1982, I joined the Institute of Management Technology in Ghaziabad. Not joined. They didn't have an entrance test. I had lousy grades, so that was the only place that gave me an appointment. It was in a field in Ghaziabad. There was no institute there. Now it's a top 10 B school and all the other good stuff. And I'm grateful to God that I was voted one of the top 3 alumni of the first 25 years. But when I got there was nothing. There was something. And it was in line. On August 16, 1982, I saw the prettiest thing I'd ever seen. My now bride of 33 years. Now I was a kid from Andhra who had no class. She was a highly placed, very successful academics kid whose parents had studied in America, came from a very affluent family. One uncle is the director of YMCA, father is director of this, uncle is director of that. And we just knew a few directors of movies by name. We had no idea what was going on. But when I saw her, I decided right then and there that that's going to be my wife. Didn't know if she'd ever accept, but thought, what the heck? Failed big. Walked up to her and said, will you marry me? Get away from me, creep. Well, I'm a salesman, so I came back with new evidence next day. I kept wearing her down. Soon we became friends. We started to hang out together, but no dating. There was no dating back then. In fact, anytime we went anywhere, Kabab mein Hadi, her sister had to come. So this was early life. Well, December 23rd, 1983, she said yes. I said, yes what? I'd forgotten the question. She said, yes, I'll marry you. I said, okay, don't be so pushy. But the reason I tell that in jest is Anila says the only reason she married me was she wanted to prevent any other woman from having the misery of being with me, so she took me off the market. But I tell that is, I shared that with some folks yesterday. This is for the youth in this room. You guys live in a culture where you're able to swipe approval on an app, check a post, comment, put a heart, do an emoji. Your whole life is online. So when you have success, it is fleeting. When you have rejection, it's disguised. See, those of us who had to grow up in line, the rejection is permanent. If she says no, you don't show your face for 3 months. But you have to walk by her every day. Walk of shame. The tears are never digital. So that's what I want you to straddle between the technology of convenience, but don't remain what I call a fingertip philosopher. You've got more information at your fingertips now. I have more computing power in my wristwatch than we had in the Apollo program. The world is going through an incredible technological change. I plead with the youth, let technology be your slave, don't ever let it become your master. And even those of us who are in the world where we use technology as an asset, how many of you are on Faceless Book? Again, same no answer, hand raising. So, all right. The reason it's faceless book is everybody on there is hiding behind their real face. None of them have read a book. But they're all married to the best person. I can't wait to see the anniversary pictures. Oh, bride of 17 years. Nobody posts the other 364 days of misery and argument. We all go to the best church, eat in the best restaurant, and have the best friend, go to the best school. I know there's no misery on Facebook. Only political misery, but there's no regular misery on Facebook. So where is the 50%, 60% of failed marriages, all the higher rate of divorce, alcoholism, suicide, drug? Where is all the misery? Instagram. Because even our misery, we decided. See, Facebook is interesting. In the early days when we kept a diary of our most profound thoughts and our profound ambition, we were embarrassed if anybody else read it because our dreams were so big. Today we post all our private thoughts on Facebook and are miserable if nobody says they like it. Complete reversal. Young girls who take a picture together in a mall will wait for 18 versions of it before one is agreed on by all of them for digital display. We're living in a voyeuristic world. And as a result, what I'm going to share with you on goals is fairly simple and direct. So here's what I'm going to give. I'm going to walk through this goal, and then I'm going to have you guys set a goal in the class or in the conference with a partner. So each of you will do that, and if you have an odd person, which means you don't have a partner, you're not odd, I'll work with you. All right? So first step is identify what you want. Goals have three ranges. One is short-term, one is medium, one is long. For this activity, I want you to be thinking of a short-term goal, something you can accomplish in less than 6 months. So short-term goals take 6 months or less to accomplish. Medium-range goals take between 6 months and 2 years. And long-range goals are 2 years and beyond, which means not out of sight, but out of present mind. So, like I said, goals don't care who have them. First step, identify your goal. Second, you have to internalize the benefits. What will you get by achieving this goal? And it's okay to want fame. I've had money, I haven't had it. Overall, it's better to have it. You know, money won't buy you happiness, but some days it'll allow you to enjoy misery in some comfortable settings. So you can go to a nice resort and be miserable. Like I was in Goa and the guy was saying, "Sir, I apologize for the rain." I said, "No, that's not in your control. God gives the rain. You need to apologize for your hotel." So that's in your control. So internalize the benefits. In pure business terminology, we call this WIIFM. What's in it for me? Radio station WIIFM. What's in it for me? Folks, it's okay to be selfish about a God-given ambition, because ultimately all you're doing is utilizing a God-given talent. That's all. I truly believe talent is just a loan from supernatural sources. And if you don't use it, someone else will. It's doted in equal measure. We all have finite time. So, third, isolate the obstacles. What will prevent you? So when I wanted to be a public speaker, what was my problem? With the thicker accent back then, a Western environment, I couldn't tell a joke to save my life. I couldn't tell a story to save a speech. So I had to find a way to overcome that. So I would have to write down, what are my obstacles? Language, enunciation, pronunciation, storytelling, humor. These are all parts of effective persuasion. So whatever your goal is, what is preventing you? Is it time management? Is it lack of information? Is it lack of interest? Is it someone else's goal? My dad wanted me to be a doctor because my brother's an engineer. And there's only one reason for that in Andhra. Apparently, if you're a doctor, you get 2 acres of coconut plantation in dowry. I know it's an unwritten word, but they still exchange it. You do an engineering, you can claim 1 acre. If, like me, you mess up and do an MBA, they ask you to bring the coconut and work in the plantation. So, what are the obstacles? Being a doctor was my father's goal, so he would have bragging rights at the country club. One son's a doctor, one son's an engineer. My earthly purpose is fulfilled. I have now lived out my Indian identity. He didn't care I'd be a horrible doctor. I'll motivate you, you'll still die. I hate blood and sick people. But when my dad saw me motivating doctors in Lufkin, Texas, and one came crying, saying that I've got more money than God allows, I'm miserable. Teach me how to bless my children. My dad in the car said, there are a lot of doctors, there are a lot of engineers. I'm so sorry, they're not a lot of what you do. I am not proud of you. So you have to isolate your obstacles. Include new skills and knowledge. Watch me carefully. If you're at point A and you want to be at point B, always learn what's required at point B while still at point A. There is no such thing in this world as an overqualified person. The only thing that exists is an underpaid one. Overqualification is a myth. Nobody would say, well, doctor, I think you're overqualified for my brain surgery. No, I just have the right amount of knowledge. I know how to cut. I don't know how to close. You'll run. you want to make sure that he knows both. Yet the flip side is we learn new things for all things that don't matter. But we don't learn things in the fundamentals that do. So, then involve people and groups. This is called the law of the inner circle by Dr. John Maxwell in his 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. He called this the law of the inner circle. Who do you put in your inner circle that are your constructive critics? These are people who you need so you can run your goals by. But you cannot have one person in that group who is capable. People say, well, my problem is I don't have a mentor. I said, no, your problem is you're looking for only one. You need to have mentors in all areas of your life. One guy giving you advice on everything you already have, he's called father. It's like, when I was growing up, my dad said, when Lal Bahadur Shastri was your age, he was already swimming across the river with his books on his head. I said, what? Nobody pointed the bridge? What do I know about Lal Bahadur Shastri? Why are you boring me with stuff I don't know? Oh, when he was your age, he was already part of the freedom movement. I said, yeah, when he was your age, he was prime minister. Back off. Crazy talk. Involve people who can help you, not people who give crazy talk. And my mom would have crazy talk. Don't run around with that stick. You'll poke your eye out. Well, I know my mom tried her best, but it is physically impossible to poke your eye out. You can poke it in. To poke it out, you'd have to run the stick up through your nose. Get it right. Or my father would say, this is going to hurt me more than it hurt you. Then spank yourself. Why are you beating me with the belt? My behind is the one red. Why are you hurting? I can't sit for a week. So get away from people who talk crazy. Okay, involve people who are smart enough to point out your faults. Then implement a plan of action. Now, this is the tricky part, but actually very easy. How do you get a plan of action? Aaron asked that question, a few other people. How do I get a plan of action to execute? Look at your obstacles that you have identified that prevent you from getting your goal and write an overcoming statement attacking each obstacle. So if language was an issue, Krish Dhanam, pick up a dictionary and find other words that mean what you're trying to say. So I would record myself. If they didn't understand a word and they said, pardon, excuse me, can you repeat that? I found another word and changed my diction and my elocution at the age of 31. I wanted to be a communicator, but I didn't want to be an also-ran. I wanted to be the one that was able to quote Victorian literature from rote and Elizabethan poetry from memory. I wanted, so one time I was speaking in America and someone said, for a dude from India, you sure speak good. I said, no, it's for a person from India, you sure speak well. What you're doing is colloquialism. American slang, according to Ambrose Bierce, is the grunt of the human hog. And a lot of Indian youth want to be like America. They think Michael Jackson is really good. No, that was a black guy who tried to be white and played with a monkey and glowed in the dark. That is not a great symbol of anything. But we are mesmerized by the convenience of that which we think is actually. There's a difference between success and fame. Mother Teresa had one, Madonna has the other. What are you chasing? You have to overcome your odds. Then implement a plan of action. That is, look at it. So overcome language barrier, overcome enunciation, pronunciation, time management. Whatever your obstacle is, write an overcoming statement and go learn that skill. Then put a completion date. And completion date has to be an actual date. So 6 months from today, someone figure out what the actual date is. So our assignment in the class, and we're going to take about 12 minutes to accomplish this, six minutes per person, Each of you volunteer a goal to the other person, so you just pair off, make sure you work with somebody, you have someone to work with. And the goal has to be something you want to accomplish in 6 months, so make it legible, make it in the sense that make it realistic. Second, I don't know if I need to say this because you're all honest businessmen, make it legal. So if you want to get a lot of money and say, my goal is to rob a bank and I really like this approach, you just want to make sure, I can do all things. No, you want to make sure that it's legal. And make sure it's something you're proud to share. There are two kinds of goals, give up goals and go up goals. Give up goals, you tell everybody. If you want to sacrifice something so you can be something better, make someone accountable to you. So when I want to give up smoking, I told everybody. Go up goals, I only tell my inner circle. Go up goals, I don't tell my competition. So make sure you use here maybe a give up goal of some kind that will allow you to get there, whether it's education, whatever, something that challenges you a little bit. So any questions about the steps? And then I'll walk around if you have a question. And then write it as if you have already accomplished it. So when you identify your goal, write it as if you have to see it's finished. So instead of saying I would like to win or I would like to have, you say I now have, I have now won. All right? Ready? Get set, grow. Find a partner.
Can you just talk about the give up goal and the go up goal?
Okay, so for example, a go up goal would be a career advancement goal.
Right.
Let's say one of the things that I want to do within the next 6 months is within my company, I want to get a promotion. Then you would only tell the people who can help you, i.e. the sales manager. You won't tell the other salespeople. A give up goal, on the other hand, was anytime you want to give up a bad discipline and include a new habit. I am now committed to reading, which means you're giving up not reading. Those you tell everybody. Now, why are we partnering you? First person will work on their goal for 6 minutes or 7 minutes, and the second person will help them. And then you turn to the second person's goal and the first person will help them. So you will walk out of here with a goal that is yours, that included some input. But the other thing is exchange numbers, and I would like the accountability partner 3 weeks from now, 21 days, to call the other person and say, how are you doing on your goal? All right? Because otherwise it's, our pain is going to start when you have to walk down the stairs. Okay, right away. So I'd recommend all of us walk at the same time. So if some of us don't want to walk, we'll just push, but we'll have a soft landing. All right. So it's, all right. Ready, get set, grow. Everybody, make sure you have a partner. If you're an odd number at your table, just raise your hand. Someone will join you. But let's get it done. Yeah. Two. Yeah, just find someone to work with. Anybody not have a partner?
subscribe to the Friendship Club channel and hit the bell icon to never miss an update. Like, comment, and share. Thank you for watching. Visit us at thefriendshipclub.in.